Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play the Journeyman Project Turbo, and we're ready to head to 200 million BC. Before I do though, this again is one of the clips where the sound kind of goes weird. The music that you can hear right now, it's supposed to stop playing when I click to, when I activate the machine, but it keeps going, so the only way I know to make it stop is I have to click on the time, cancel, click it again, then activate. For whatever reason that makes the sound stop, so here we go.
Select a destination from the listing on the left margin. Late arrival.
I will assassinate thee, so delicate.
Now that right there, that is one of my favorite parts of this game, just because that video clip, I love the music track that they use for that. I just thought that it sounded really cool, and I just like it's kind of trippy, or just like, you know, traveling through all these rings and everything. But I think it's in Pegasus Prime, they don't use that, which I was really sad about. And also, all the voices that you can hear overlaid on top of it, I'm going to touch on that a little bit more later. I'm just going to leave that alone for now. So here we are, 200 million BC. And you can see here our energy is actually ticking down now. But again, it's really not going to be a problem as long as you just keep on moving. Honestly, the only way you run out of energy is if you just screw around a lot. It's really hard to run out of energy normally. Okay, so we can actually explore around a little bit now. This age. I said age. I'm thinking of mist. This time zone is fairly small though. You can move a little closer here to get a better look at the volcano, but we are on the edge of a 350-meter cliff. Caution is advised. Got a pterodactyl over there. How did we turn this way? Oh, we keep getting the message. Well, let's just ignore that message, shall we? Or maybe not. Yeah, that message means business. They really do tell you, like, danger, don't go forward anymore, essentially. So if you don't listen to it, you die. One small step for man, one giant leap forward. Well, you get the picture. You should just tack on like dumbass at the end there. They actually kind of poke fun at you quite a bit, and a lot of the ending things for it. But anyways, we get some points. See, exploration, recovered biochips, and all that. But again, the points don't matter. So let's go back now. Okay, so let's not fall off the cliff this time. And real quick, I'll just turn on the mapping biochip right now so you can kind of get an idea of what it does. It just creates a little map for us. We actually see what direction we're facing on there too. But I think I mentioned earlier that you really don't need the mapping biochip that much, except for one spot. Well, two spots, I guess, but there's only one where it's like really useful. And even then, you don't absolutely need it. We get another warning here, although this doesn't mean necessarily imminent death, but it's just pretty much telling us to be careful. But there's only one way for us to go anyways. So we'll just make our way through here, hoping we don't get eaten by a dinosaur. Like that one there. Now that seems to me like if they didn't want to actually have to like render the dinosaur, so they kind of cheat by just using the shadow of it. At least that's what I kind of think. So it's like you get the feel for it, but they don't have to actually do so much work for it. And see, that's it. This is the whole time zone right here. It's just this one pathway, and we have the vault here, so we need to use the Journeyman key. So we'll use this. And there we go, the historical log. So we've got what we came here to do, so we can actually leave right now. But before I leave, I figure I might as well show off what happens when you run out of energy. And actually, it's kind of it can be different depending on where you are. I think there's like 3 different ones. This one here, when you actually do it in 200 million BC, it's actually very specific. And along the way, I'm actually going to show you, just for completion, I guess, what happens when you reach certain levels of energy. So I'll be right back.
Energy level 50%.
So that's what it does when you reach 50% energy. I think that also showed off in the intro, though, even though the sound wasn't supposed to play there. So that's 50%, and coming up...
Energy level 25%.
So that's what happens when you reach 25% energy. And once again...
Energy level critical.
That's what happens when you reach 10%, but it doesn't say 10%, it says critical. Critical damage. Alright, finally, this is what happens when you run out of energy entirely. You get eaten by a pterodactyl. This again is a special ending you only get here in the prehistoric, I keep wanting to say age, I kept mist on the mind, but the prehistoric time zone. You succeeded in escaping the bounds of time and space to travel 200 million years into the past, only to be eaten by a pterodactyl. Next time, you should heed the warnings and move a little faster, genius. See, that's what I mean by them pretty much making fun of you. Because again, honestly, the only way this happens is if you let it happen. There's no way you could possibly get this, naturally, unless you're playing and you have to get to do something real quick and you forget to save it or pause the game or whatever. But anyway, so let's go back now. Okay, now that we're back, now we're ready to actually jump back to the present. You can either click the Pegasus biochip there, or just click this button here. So you can see that the temporal rip status is resolved. Although there wasn't really a rip here, but it just pretty much means that we have accomplished what we needed to do here. And jumping back is instant. They don't have a video clip for coming back. I kind of thought that they might have, but they didn't. Alright, so there's nothing else for us to do here, so we can actually just get out of the Pegasus now. So now we need to go review the historical log. We're actually not gonna manually review it, but we're gonna have the computer scan for the differences so we can find out where exactly the rips occurred. I wish there was a faster way to get back, but unfortunately there isn't. Just a little tedious. And again, see, I still can't go backwards. I still don't get that. Now, here's a funny thing. We are in a time zone now where, to them, nothing has happened. Only I am aware that time has been altered. To them, this is natural. Whatever happened in the past was just a natural course of history for them. If I try to go to the ready room...
No temporal rip detected. Entry denied.
To them, there is no rip. This is the present. This is how, how history has what history has led up to. But if I try to leave altogether,
temporal rip status unresolved. Exit not allowed.
The temporal rip hasn't been resolved. Obviously, they have to make it so you can't leave. Otherwise, they'd have to have differences for what's changed on the outside. Just a little oversight on their part, I guess. So once again, we're going to have to go through a couple of video clips here, but again, this is essential for figuring out what exactly it is that we need to do.
Insert log disk to initiate historical reconfiguration and comparison.
So now you can actually see the whole picture here, as if, again, if you had waited, you would have seen this progressing. So you can see that there are apparently 3 different rips. And if you try to click on this monitor here, it doesn't let you. We are forced to review the log no matter what.
Insert log disk. Historical log computer inactive. No disk inserted.
And again, it won't let us activate the monitor until we actually put in the disk. So, okay, we'll put in the disk. But before we do, almost forgot to review it real quick. You can see there. And I think that's the only item we've got. Yeah, it's the only other thing. Well, it closed on me. Get in there. And finally, the last code that we need. This will be the last one we have to do. Roboti. That's all I hear is roboti. But so you can see there it's comparing the differences, and these are the different entries that it found. We've got 3 here. Chance of success based on historical relevance. Percentages don't really matter. This one's not actually a temporal rip, but it is related. And now it's kind of convenient that the person they had recording the history for the other one, it was the same lady. Now what they did was they changed her like hairstyle and all that, her appearance, and she kind of talks a little differently, just to help distinguish the difference between the two. But it's kind of like time has changed. Maybe it would be a different person altogether. It's kind of funny how it's the exact same person. Anyways, so let's check out this first one here. This is the earliest occurrence in 2112. This is at NORAD 6. You can see here we can click for the unaltered and the altered. So we're going to look at the unaltered history. Peace talks succeeding despite opposition.
May 15, 2112. The government of Gorbistan appears ready to agree to the terms of the Worldwide Unification Treaty being set forth by the United Nations. However, at least one terrorist faction disagrees with the terms of the plan and has expressed this disagreement by taking hostages, many of which are American. Nevertheless, it appears that the Worldwide Unification Treaty will be signed by Gorbistan and all other nations of the world.
Yeah, it'll be signed. Hostages or not. Sorry, buddy. Okay, so that's the unaltered history, but this is now missile launch puts peace talks in peril. (5/15/2112), 1400 hours. Amid negotiations to work out the final details of the Worldwide Unification Treaty, a nuclear missile was launched today by the United States toward the country of Gorbistan. The missile, however, self-destructed before actually touching down. Before the scare, the leaders of this country appeared ready to accept the terms of the peace plan. Certain terrorist factions, on the other hand, expressed their disapproval by taking hostages, some American. Although U.S. government officials have repeatedly stated that they do not understand how the missile could have been launched, other foreign governments have already said that they cannot possibly sign a treaty with a country that would use such scare tactics. Thus, the Worldwide Unification Treaty, which has come so close to realization, now has little or no chance for success. So this one's a pretty big deal. As opposed to world unification, we nearly start a nuclear war, although it's unknown why at this time. And you can see that's what I mean. She talks kind of differently. She gives off the date in a different manner, and she looks different here. Again, I think they did that just to help differentiate between the two. So now we have 2185. This is the Morimoto colony on Mars. The unaltered, alien sighted, confirmed.
August 3rd, 2185. Early today, the pilot of a cargo shuttle approaching the Morimoto Mars colony spotted an unidentified spacecraft hovering over the colony. The sighting was verified by landing bay scanners and immediately reported to Earth. Soon after, the ship sped off toward the outer reaches of the solar system.
So we get our first alien sighting, but nothing happens there. In the altered history, aliens sighted, Mars colony destroyed.
H3-2185, 0800 hours. Morimoto Corporation's Mars Colony project suddenly went offline last night, just moments after a reported sighting of an alien spacecraft. While it is still unclear what has happened, debris has been spotted by long-range scanners, leading many to believe that the colony was destroyed by a malevolent alien race. Repeated efforts to contact the colony have met with no success. If the colony was destroyed, it is likely that all members of the 30-person crew appointed to oversee the construction robots have also perished.
So again, this is another big deal. Our first sighting with aliens in the unaltered history was a peaceful one. Nothing happened. But here, it seems like the aliens destroyed our colony. Now, why they would do that is, again, unknown at this time. So that's another thing we have to investigate. The last one here, or at least for the actual RIPS, is the World Science Center. And in the unaltered, the rally outlook decidedly pro-alien.
January 17th, 2310. A rally was held today at the World Science Center to discuss whether or not we are ready for interaction with alien races. One speaker, Dr. Enrique Castillo, delivered a particularly moving speech. Dr. Castillo embarrassed the naysayers by systematically shooting down their arguments and thrilled the audience with visions of medical and technological advances which could be gained by such interaction. Although there were strong keynote speeches on both sides of the argument, most of the crowd appeared to be in favor of alien contact.
Now you might notice a little bit of a trend occurring here. Let's watch the altered version. Activist killed during rally.
One 17-23-10, 1700 hours. A bizarre accident during a rally to deliberate the pros and cons of alien contact left a man dead earlier today. Dr. Enrique Castillo was pronounced dead on arrival at the Sydney Medical Complex after a freak accident on stage at the World Science Center. Dr. Castillo was one of the few at the rally who still believed that contact with an alien race would be beneficial to humanity. Although his views were not mainstream, Dr. Castillo's contributions to the pro-alien movement will be greatly missed.
Now she says it was an accident, but that sounds kind of suspicious. And the last one here, actually this one here, the World Science Center one, that was in 2310. This one is 2308, so technically this did not affect this one. This seems to have occurred just because of these two instances. And this here, again, it's not Temple of Rip itself, it's just a related event, and it's actually here in Caldoria. And notice that it's 10 years ago. So this is the unaltered history for alien contact.
November 6, 2308. More than a century after the first recorded sighting of a UFO, aliens have finally made contact with us. Early this morning, a huge triangular-shaped vehicle entered into Earth's orbit. After 3 hours, the spacecraft came through the atmosphere and hovered over Caldoria. Moments later, the following message was transmitted over all communications frequencies.
We are the Solons. Please do not be alarmed. We have come because we feel that you are ready. You have reached the point where you are no longer dangerous to yourselves or others. This is why we have chosen to invite you to join us in the symbiotry of peaceful beings, an alliance of sentient beings whose objective is to benefit from the sharing of knowledge and culture. We know that it will take some time to fully comprehend the nature of this encounter, so we will give you the opportunity to deliberate our proposal. On this same day, 10 years from now, us Roland Delegate will visit you to extend a formal invitation to join the symbiotry. Until then, we look forward to meeting you in person.
And as suddenly as they had appeared, the Sorolans departed.
So like I said, as you might have guessed, being 10 years ago, this is when the Sorolans came to invite us in the symbiotry. However, in the altered history,
11/6/2308, 2300 hours. Today, 123 years after the first official UFO encounter, an alien spacecraft entered Earth's orbit. After several hours of silence and mounting tension, the aliens transmitted the following message over all communications frequencies. We will return when you are ready. While no one is quite sure what this message means, many people have voiced concern about interacting with a potentially dangerous alien race.
so this is quite different from the unaltered history. Rather than being invited in the symbiotry, we are being told that we are not ready yet. And again, if you'll notice the trend here, 3 out of the 4 of these involve the aliens, the Sorolans. So that might give us a kind of a clue as to why history has been changed. I won't give too much about that yet. We'll discover more as we actually visit the time zones. So now we're finally done reviewing.
Log drive locked. Check disk must not be removed.
But it won't let us take back the disk, so we just have to leave it. So that's it for reviewing. Now that we know where history has been changed, we actually have the dates that we need, the dates and the locations. So now we can actually go back and fix history. Although we're still uncertain as to the cause. Luckily, this will be the last time we have to take this elevator going this way. Still tedious, though. So, Mr. Bond, are you going to talk? Or are you just going to die? You can't make me talk. And again, you'll be seeing this screen a lot as well.
Select a destination from the listing on the left monitor.
And so we can see our 3 different time zones that we have to travel to now. We can also see the rib locations on here. But that is going to be it for this one. So in the next video, we will start off actually getting to the real meat of the game. We're actually going to get to the time zones now and actually have to start solving some puzzles and such. So I'll see you then.